What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Dudes Who Bet Daily, June 8th, 2023. We are just 2 days away from when the Belmont is scheduled to be run. So let's talk about that a little bit. Belmont cancels today because of the wildfires up in Canada and poor air quality. Aaron, I'll go to you. What happens if we end up having to cancel the weekend card at Belmont?
Well, I think if what happens is they'll just run it next week. I don't think it's any kind of terrible thing if that's what happens. I feel like, I've been watching the situation, and of course you never really know, but I've been watching the situation, and it does project that we should run tomorrow. It's supposed to lessen in the New York City area and push down towards the south. Now, whether that happens or not, who knows, but that's what they're projecting. If that happens, I think we'll be clear. But if not a lot of panic. I mean, I think they just bring everybody back next week.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're hearing here. Kevin B already razzing Aaron here, telling him, how could you ever pick Dean Kramer? Interesting there. Michael talking about the mortal lock that was the Nuggets. Aaron, I'm glad we introduced you in some alt lines last night. That was fun.
You realize you and I really did a dumb thing yesterday as far as the show goes?
Well, yeah, that happens a lot.
So we are the best bets sometimes are very frustrating because we sat here and we just blew past Nuggets -3. It's like, well, let's go -7.5. Let's go 10. Let's go 15. Why didn't one of us just say Nuggets -3 was the best bet and have an automatic win?
Well, I didn't do it because I bet Nuggets -2 right when the line came out. And so my stubborn bettor side of me is like, well, I'm not laying 3 as a best bet when I got 2, which was pretty dumb because I did lay 7.5, 10.5, and 14.5 in the game. So probably should have just gone with the Nuggets there and gotten the best bet home. Although I will say, pretty frustrated with the Angels. When you hit a team through 4 and you have a lead and you score in the bottom of the 5th, but somehow you tie the first 5, it's a little frustrating. But
well, dude, the Orioles were right there. They had no, just kidding.
No, they were down 10. That was brutal. Nothing you could do there. All right, let's well, first off, I already bet the Nuggets -0.5 point in the first half. The game is 3 and the first half is 1 now, but it was a half point last night. I would still play the Nuggets -1 first half. They've been a better first half team all 3 games in this series so far. All right, let's jump right into it. The Golden Knights and the Panthers. Game 3, Florida down 2-0, but headed back home here. -120 favorite. The total is the interesting part to me here. We talked about this was an over series coming into it. The first period and game over are combined 4-0 through 2 games. And looky here, Vegas adjusts to 6. So now we've got a little bit higher of a total. Right now, the first period is -1.5, -135. So juiced to the moon for one of those first period bets. Aaron, what do you like here? Golden Knights, Panthers.
For the first time in these playoffs, I'm not betting the Florida Panthers because I'm not betting the game at all. I don't know what to do. I don't like them as a favorite because they've been the dogs so many times and been good to us. But this series, they haven't really looked like the Florida Panthers that we saw. Game 1 was okay. I think it was a 50-50 game. They just kind of got beat. Game 2, wow. That was horrific. That was a total butt kicking from the minute they dropped the puck to the minute it was over. I'm just staying away. I picked the Panthers to win the game. I'm not playing the game, though. I got to see if they're going to, bounce back from just a dismal effort.
I kind of expected the efforts to be flipped. I thought Vegas would come out and just roll in game 1, and then you'd see a big-time Panthers return in game 2. And really what you saw was a big-time Panthers effort in game 1, and they just rolled over in game 2 magic. What do you make of this series? Do you think it's going to be a long one still? You like the over, or are you just passing altogether?
I mean, I'll keep betting the Panthers. I don't like that they're favored right now, but they've oh boy, after game 2. The first 4 minutes, I was like, all right, Panthers look good. They came out, they hit a couple guys, and then it took one punch in the mouth from Vegas Knights when they finally were like, oh, Florida came to play. They punched him in the mouth, and that was it. I stopped watching at the first period. That game was atrocious. It was just dreadful from every aspect. Didn't get their shit together. They needed to stop being so emotional. Like Matthew Tkachuk's out there. I did think the hit on Eichel was legal, but he is out there causing a lot of issues and not in a good way for them. They need him to be the Matthew Tkachuk that got them to this point, that helped them sweep the Carolina Hurricanes. They don't need the Matthew Tkachuk that, like the family bloodline where he's biting people and eating them out there on the ice. So you need to stop doing that. So if you're going to bet it, I agree with Michael Olsen. I think this is the one time that the Panthers, they know that if they lose this one, they're absolutely effed. But they did, don't forget, they were down 3-1 at one point to the Boston Bruins in that series. So the Boston Bruins were the top team in the NHL. Vegas is red hot right now, so they need to turn shit around real fast.
Yeah, Bobrovsky needs to pick it up. I don't think he left in any weak goals. He got pulled in game 2. It was actually the 5th time in 11 games the Vegas Golden Knights have chased the goalie out in these playoffs, which is pretty impressive when you think about who they've been facing. I like the Panthers in the first period tonight. You can get minus 110, Panthers first period, tie is a push. I think that's a good value. I think you're going to see a very good early Panthers effort here. Whether or not they can sustain it and win the game, not sure. Don't really want to lay on minus 120 on it. But happy to lay minus 110 on the first period, essentially, especially since a 1-1 tie is a push. So you don't have as much risk on there versus the full game where you know you cannot push it. So I played Panthers first period. I kind of want to play the over, Aaron, because I do still think this is an over series. But that adjustment from 5.5 to 6, it matters. And it makes it a lot more difficult to just blindly pop it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it absolutely matters. It could be the difference between a win and a push, obviously. And I think – listen, I think these 2 games that are pretty wide open. I'm interested to see if the Panthers try to change it up and try to play a little bit more close to the vest tonight and try to win a hockey game 2-1, something like that. I'm a little worried about it as well. But look, we haven't been close to touching the under yet. So that's the flip side of it. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I really don't. So I would stay away from that one as well. I would lean over, though, based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, but up and down action. The Golden Knights push the pace, and that's what we saw in Dallas's series as well. That's what we're seeing here. Even Dallas trying to play to unders. You still saw 2 of those games go over in that series. All right, let's jump over to the diamond here. Team that I'm mad at, the Minnesota Twins, facing the Rays. Rays minus 125 total, sitting at 8 here. Pretty good pitching matchup today. This is a 10-10 early start. Ober versus Chirinos. Magic, did you look at anything here in the Twins Rays?
I thought about playing the under. It set it pretty fairly, I think, at 8. I think if you still, because of that pitching matchup, I think you could go with the under here. The Rays' last 5 games, the under's been 5-0, so you've got that going for them. They're also, the under's 4-0 in their last 4 games following a win. So they're doing very strongly. They've been very great at home. Overall, the Rays are 30. The games have been 35 over, 26 under. But for the Twins, 25 over, 34 under. The Twins, that tells me the Twins are struggling to put up runs. And they're still they have a decent bullpen as well, is what that number tells me. So I would go with the under 8, though I do think the 8 is pretty fair. I'm looking at about a 6 or 7 run game here.
I played the under here, but I played it first 5. So I played Twins Rays under 4.5 runs first 5 innings. So I get mainly the starters there. The Twins team, this offense has been just atrocious. I mean, just look at yesterday, even like the last week, they just have not been able to hit the ball. And I do think you're going to see Ober be able to shut down the Rays in some sense. So I'm going to go under first 5 innings, 4.5. Aaron, anything here?
Yeah, all the unders as well for me. I couldn't really make a determination on, the first 5 as far as a winner or whole game as far as a winner that I was comfortable with. Look, the Twins, they, like you said, they just can't hit. Last night they get 1 run off of a bullpen game. We mentioned that game. You talked about that game on the air yesterday. It's just they just can't hit the ball, and so it's hard to back them, even though they are. Or they do have their best pitcher on the mound, and they are plus money price. But I would go that under first 5 as well. I think that seems to be the play here. Both these pitchers pretty decent. Like I said, Twins can hit, and Tampa really hasn't hit the ball that great either in this series, and now they got to face a really, really solid pitcher.
Let's flip it over to the Red Sox, headed in to take on the Guardians. Guardians minus 145, total sitting at 8.5. Interesting pitching game today here. You've got Savelli on the mound for Cleveland. He's 1-1 with a 2.04 ERA. On the mound for the Red Sox, Dermody, who has pitched 1 time this year in the majors. It was for the Cubs, and he has a 18 ERA. That's not great. Magic, what do you think here?
Boy, if you could find a prop bet on the number of errors the Red Sox can put in a game, you might want to take the over. They had 3 more in their loss Wednesday, 5-2. They lead the AL with 43 errors. They're kind of a screwy team. They're like if Tappet was a baseball team. That's the Boston Red Sox right now. They're all that. Listen, because of that, I would go with the Guardians. The Guardians, as far as the money line, they've not been a great team to bet on that, but. It feels like one of those games where it's setting up well for the Guardians to go in here and hold them off.
Aaron?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. I took the Guardians first 5 in this one. I think this is going to be a situation where the Guardians are going to get to Dermody early. They've got one of their best pitchers on the mound. So I'm talking about Cleveland. So I went the Guardians first 5 here. They were minus 105 this morning. I don't know what they are now, Somich. You probably have an update on that.
Well, I played the Guardians minus a half run, first 5 plus 100. So yeah, we're in line there. It's interesting. Aaron and I had a conversation for probably about 10 minutes after the show yesterday, specifically around first 5 and how you can take advantage of it. I think 5 of my 6 bets today are first 5 bets, and the other is a full game total over. But the first 5 is awfully interesting. I think this is a great example of where it adds a ton of value because you can lay that half run with the Guardians, who are the home team. So you don't really want to lay the run and a half because they get one less at bat in the full game. Yep. But in the first 5, guess what? They both get 5 at bats. You've got a better starting pitcher here. I don't mind laying the half run here at plus 100.
So real quick to your first 5 point, I went 2-1 with them, all of them plus money last night. So those are 3 games I would have passed if we hadn't talked about that. And so that's a big 0. And instead I made like $150 on them because, like I said, went 2-1 and should have swept them. The Angels, you mentioned it totally blew it. So it ended up making a really good night for me when before I just would have passed them all and then just had the underdogs full game. So it's a really good play. You need to look into it. And again, we got bad luck last night, or it would have been 3-0. But when you're playing plus money, 2-1 is just fine.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me. It's like you have in the first 5, you get so much more information on who is going to actually play because rarely do you see a starting pitcher change unless one of them gets shelled, in which case you're probably going to win or lose your bet anyway if you played full game. Yeah. And you know kind of the idea of the lineup. You're not going to have any real big time adjustments. For me, it's less of variance in that first 5. And the way that I'm attacking baseball, playing 7, 8, 9 games a day, I'm not betting large amounts on these anyway. It's more of a volume play where if you can go 60% with a ton of bets, that's what you're looking to do versus trying to play 1 or 2 NFL games for a large amount of money. And these first 5s make almost every single game playable because you can either take the dog in the full game or you can be laying a half in the first 5. I mean, there's a lot more variant or a lot more options when you look at that first 5 pretty hard.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was great last night. Thank you.
All right, let's jump over to Astros Blue Jays. Total sitting at 8.5 here. Really interesting game. It's a Berrios day, but he's at home where he's generally a little bit better. So we'll see what happens there. Astros, tough loss yesterday, 3-2 against these Blue Jays, but they have Valdez going on the mound, one of their top tier starters, 6-4 with a 2.16 ERA. Aaron, what'd you do here?
Astros, first 5, plus 115. I took them.
Unbelievable. Astros first 5. Magic.
Give me the Blue Jays to pull the upset overall, though. I like you talked about Berrios. He's a lot better at home. He's 2-1 record at home with a 2.22 ERA. On the road, he's 3-3 with a 4.40 ERA. But his last 3 games, he's got 2 wins, 1 no decision, 0.96 ERA, and he's pitched 18 2/3 over that stretch with 13 hits, just 2 earned runs, and 16 Ks. So I think Berrios being back at home. I'll call his brother Hector, ask him if Jose's ready to pitch tonight, but I think we know the answer to that.
I think we do. Is that his brother? Isn't it Berrios Hector, not Hector Berrios? All right, let's jump over. Let's jump over to Indiana Grand for our race. Well, I'm sorry, Horseshoe, Indiana, for our race of the day here, the 5th race. Kind of running it back in a way. I think, Magic, you actually picked the winner in this race last time. We're going back to the N1X level. This time it's open company here versus last time we were in a claiming $20,000 N2X. 3-year-olds and up, Phillies going to mile and 16th over the turf course. Kicks off your late pick 5 today from Horseshoe Indianapolis. Magic, since last time you picked the winner, are you going to go back to Casmet, the 10 horse, or are you going somewhere else today?
I am, yeah, you're right. On May 16th, it was race 7, a 20K claiming race. Picked her to go gate to wire. I think she was about 6-1 on the morning line. 8-5 winner. So now we've got 8-1 on the morning line. Probably 9-5 winner, but no, I'm going with her again for the same exact reason. Show me who else is the pace in this race. I think she's got a huge advantage. The 2 horse Habuya is probably my second choice in here. I think she's a great chance to get up for the exacta, but she's not a horse that's going to press the pace. The other one that might press it is the 8. They're putting blinkers on her after her first North American start at Keeneland didn't go so well. I don't think that's going to help give that horse a bunch of speed. I think it's going to help her relax and rate a bit. So I really think the 10 calm set, you're not going to get 8-1 on her again, but I think that's the horse you got to play.
Yeah, pretty interesting race because it comes it all the way out in the 10 post. I agree with you. Probably your speed of the speed. French Cuffs ran second in that race, breaking from the 9 today. Abuya, who you mentioned, 2 today, did not break at all. And I think we'll get a better trip today. I'm going to go with the 2, Abuya Magic, because I think that horse breaks better today. Second off the layoff, runs significantly better. I also think you get closer to the 9-2 price than you do the 6-1 on your Abuya, who I agree with you is going to get bet down pretty hard. You also have a McPeak in here, Aaron, first-time turf. You got Sherry DeVoe sending one out, both at 10-1 prices. I think the 3 is a little bit interesting as well, More Than Glory for Brendan Walsh, who will be trying the turf for the second time in her career. Where did you end up going here?
Yeah, a lot of little things that could jump up and get you here. I went with your horse, Somich. I went number 2, Abuya on top here. I think second off the layoff going to be really solid. And I went the 9 French Cuffs in second. I thought that was a pretty solid race here at Horseshoe Indianapolis after kind of running against better competition at Keeneland and not doing much. I thought this was pretty good. So I went 2-9 in this spot. This is going to be the back end of a double. I really like the 5 in the first leg of this in race 4. So I went a 5 and then over 2-9 double in this race.
That should be a fun race. The odds are going to be completely different than what the morning line is. You're going to see one of those, like the Sherry DeVoe horse, who's 10-1, probably not, or 12-1, probably going off closer to 4 or 5-1. You're going to see quite a bit of horses bet down. The 11 7-2 was your morning line favorite is scratched out of this. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is it's not a great morning line. So we'll see what happens here as we go through that piece of it. Now, one thing we mentioned on Monday, before we jump into the best bets of the day here, we asked everyone, if you have a Belmont pick, send it on in. Keep it between 30 seconds and 1 minute. We're going to run one of those now, Magic, so you can pick one of the 2 down there to run. Thank you, everybody, for sending these in. We're going to keep playing them throughout the week and on the live stream on Saturday as well, assuming we race. So send it in to contact@racingdudes.com if you want to have a half a minute, 2-minute video picking your Belmont choice. So, Magic, fire one up.
Yeah, first one we got Shane from North Carolina, and he gets bonus points for this entry. See if you can tell me, see if you can see why I said he gets bonus points here.
What's up, dudes? This is Shane from North Carolina. My pick to win this year's Belmont is Tappet Trice. Here's a few reasons why. Obviously, he's a son of Tappet. Tappet's produced 4 Belmont winners, but he's also out of a Dunkirk mare. Dunkirk finished second in 2009. Pletcher's won it 4 times, and he's got Saez on board. Saez won it in 2021 and a classic with essential quality. And also 8 out of 10 Belmont winners in the last decade ran in the Derby but didn't win it. Tappet Trice, and I'm going to say wins it going away. Tappet Trice by 3 lengths over Forte. Forte scares me a little bit. I think Rapoli is pissed that horse got scratched from the Derby, and I don't blame him, but I'm going Tappet Trice, pulling away in this year's Belmont. Good luck, guys.
50th anniversary of Secretariat, and he had the Secretariat hat on, so that's why he gets bonus points for that. That was the first thing I noticed when I was watching that video. So yeah, Kevin wants to know, why did we let Jared's cousin submit the video?
First off, phenomenal job on that video.
Yes, very good job.
Excellent job explaining why you like a horse. I mean, not a great pick, but hey, I'm not going to hold Tappet Trice against him there. Great job there. Thank you for sending that in. Make sure anyone who wants to get involved, send those in. 30 seconds to a minute, not 30 minutes. Won't play that. 30 seconds to a minute, and fire them off over at contact@racingdudes.com. We'll play them throughout Saturday's show as well as throughout our Dudes Who Bet daily shows here in the morning. All right, it's best bet time. Yesterday we went 0-2. Yesterday we were both profitable. So that's not fun, right, Aaron?
That's not fun, no.
Well, let's get back on it. Someone mentioned this one in the chat. My best bet of the day, I am going to go with the under in the Mets-Braves game. Under 4.5 first 5 innings here. Pretty simple handicap. It's Verlander on the mound for the Mets, and the Mets offense sucks. And Strider's on the mound for Atlanta. I don't think either of these teams is going to be able to hit that much, specifically New York, who I think probably scores 1 or 0 runs in the first 5 innings. So it's all about whether or not Verlander can keep this Braves offense under 3 or less in the first 5. I think he does. I like these 2 pitchers. I like Mets unders right now. They're not a good offensive team. So I'm going to roll with the first 5 under here. Mets and Braves under 4.5. Aaron, going back to one of our favorite teams here.
The Rockies, that's right. I think. Listen, I think they've got the pitching matchup to get it done today. Pretty good pitcher on the mound for the Rockies. Same for the Giants, but he's kind of hit and miss. He either will shut you out or give up 4 or 5 runs. So I like the matchup for the Rockies today, pitching wise. I really like the price at plus 155. The Rockies have been in a lot of games in this stretch where they haven't played very well. They just been losing close games, including last night. They lost 5-4. I think they jump on them today. I think they get ahead, and I think at plus 155, they're the right price for me. Colorado Rockies, like you said, we've cashed with them a lot on this show. Let's try to cash with them today.
This is another one of my unders today. I played the first 5 unders, 6.5, I believe it was. It was either 6.5 or 7. Monster total in Colorado. I'll tell you, Magic can tell us all about those and how that ends up for you. But this is a good pitching matchup. The Cobb's been very good for San Francisco, so I tried to roll with the under. I do think this is going to be a close game, so I don't mind catching that 155 at all, Aaron. All right, Magic, give us a total.
Orioles Brewers under 8.5, and I love that I was catching plus money on this too. That's or 1-1 on this. This is pretty good. Listen, this is a matchup where the Orioles, if you look at 3 games back, they put up 8 runs against San Francisco. They scored 6 of those in 1 inning, kind of an aberration. Outside of that, they scored 2 runs, 3 runs, blanked, and 3 runs. The offense is struggling for them. They're looking at getting swept for the first time in a month with this series. I think the Brewers, listen, I know the Brewers dominated them yesterday 10-2. A little bit of an aberration for them as well. They haven't really been scoring runs as much in droves like that. You also have a case where this is the 3rd and final game of the series between them. That's kind of a big deal because now each team has had a chance to see the other one play twice in person. The bullpens have been able to make some adjustments with the hitters. The managers have a better understanding of what they're going to be facing. The hitters have a better understanding. You tend to see tighter games in those 3rd series with these 2 teams. In Bradish's last 4 starts for the Orioles, the under is in game 3 of a series. The under is 4-0. For the Brewers, in Game 3 of a series, just straight up, the under is 4-0 as well. And also, the under is 5-0 for the Brewers in their last 5 games when they hold their opponents to 2 runs or less in the previous game, which, as I mentioned, is what happened here. If you want my CFL bets, guess what? racingnews.com/best-bets. We're selling picks there. There's only one CFL game a day, so if I'm going to be selling picks, I can't really give them out for free on this anymore. If things don't go so well for me like they did last year, then I'll start giving them out for free. You can bet on that one.
Magic trying to run back the CFL love there. Aaron, what do you think this Brewers-Orioles play?
It's a good one. I think it's a good one. I think the Brewers, other than last night, have had trouble putting up a lot of runs. I am worried about the Brewers pitching situation tonight. That's my only worry. Hopefully it's 7-1. Or
Colin Ray is a little. He can give it up a little bit, but I'm banking on the Orioles not really having any kind of an offense to balance that out.
I think it's a good one. It's not one I'm going to bet, Magic. I'll be honest, but I don't think it's a bad one.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Well, I appreciate that. All right, guys, that does it for the best bets on the show today. Thank you very much for joining us here. Dudes Who Bet Daily will be back same time, same place, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Big weekend coming up here in the sports and horse racing world.
There's another video.
We're going to save that for later.
Not today?
No.
I told Jason I'd play it today.
All right, go ahead.
Play it.
All right, here's Jason from Kentucky. It's a quick one.
Racing Dudes, Jason Shepik live in Augusta, Kentucky. Going to tell you it's going to be a national treasure kind of day come Saturday. Key and Forte, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. Throwing in some Archangel and Hit Show and maybe a few others. Best of luck to y'all.
That's how you do it.
So
we need to get him as Aaron's co-host on Blinkers Off. He's in, he's out, it's done. Boom, look at that.
Can I just say both these guys, fantastic. Very good job. Right?
Yes.
I mean, I love the videos. I loved them the last time we did them too. But yeah, that's how you do it. 2 really nice, concise. Here's who I'm picking. Here's why. Good luck to you guys. Loved it. Thank both you guys very much. That's awesome.
I love the way that they frame the videos as well. Magic mentioned the Secretariat hat there. Jason focusing on the flag in the background. I mean, I like the idea. Like, we're putting a little quality into it too. I appreciate that there. Yeah. Excellent job, both of you guys. Thank you very much for sending the videos. Everyone else, make sure you get your videos in. We will play them here throughout Dudes Who Bet Daily all week, as well as on the Belmont Stakes live stream. I love hearing from people about who they like and who they don't. All right. I'm not even going to go there. All right, let's jump into the best bets of the day here. I'm going to go with the under 4.5. First 5 innings, Mets and Braves. Magic, Orioles, Brewers, under 8.5, plus 100. Aaron going to the Rocky Mountains, taking the Rockies, plus 155. 0-2 last week, down $200, up 612 for the year. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Good luck with all of your bets.